Hello everyone, Graham here again. I've had a genuinely shit week and today I lost my voice. So I'm just doing this to give you all a little update. We are still alive and will still be making videos. Last week was weird. Seb had issues with his video and I had issues with mine. Jack didn't quite feel right doing one on Friday since we did nothing. This week Seb got rained on with his video so that didn't happen. And my voice is dead and I feel like a lawyer in an unemployment office, so this is the best I can do. Jack's video should still be coming later this week though. For the time being I'll pass the mic to my past self to rant about bad musicals for a bit. Ooh.
Sunshine on Leith is across the universe for the Proclaimers. Oh, you don't know who the Proclaimers are. You're just one of everybody. They had one song that actually got popular here, and apparently several that got popular in Scotland. Their song that got popular over here has become an anthem for bar-hopping bros all over the place. I'm not going to sing the song at all, but you know that I would walk 500 miles thing? That. I'm also not going to play the song because the next time I hear it, my ears will bleed. This film was quite possibly one of the worst things I have ever seen. This film starts off almost looking like it might be interesting. It has two of the primary characters in a military vehicle in Afghanistan. They're singing one of the songs. I don't know. My dog just sighed, I agree with him. And then there's an explosion. The next one has them back at home being all celebratory about getting home. From there, the film takes a much more romantic focus. It essentially has 6 characters to it. The 2 that were in said vehicle and one of the guy's dads, along with one guy's girlfriend who happens to be the sister of the other guy, that sister's friend that becomes the girlfriend of the sister's brother, and the mom. You may be wondering why I'm not giving any of these characters names. I don't remember them. So for the sake of stability, I'll just quickly look them up. We've got Davy, the one with the sister, Allie, the one dating the sister, Rab, the dad, Liz, the sister, Yvonne, the sister's friend, and Jean, the mom. Meh. Essentially it tells 3 stories, 3 different romances. One between Davy and Yvonne, one between Allie and Liz, and one between Jean and Rab, who are already married. I think the worst thing about this whole thing was that it almost looked like it was going to be interesting. For one thing, one of Davy and Allie's military buddies got his legs shot off in that first scene. Here's the problem, though. He's mentioned 4 times and has 1 scene. The most interesting character in the whole thing is mentioned 4 times and has 1 scene. With Rab and Jean, they're about to celebrate their 25th anniversary. Then Rab gets a message from his estranged daughter that he didn't know he had, that her mother has died. Apparently he cheated on his wife during their first year of marriage, and wee problems. Problem with this story, it all gets resolved by Rab having a heart attack. Because God knows that someone almost dying makes everything that they did to you okay. There's no real resolution at all. And I have no issues spoiling this film. There's no way to enjoy it anyways. Another one was between Allie and Liz. Allie starts talking about marriage, and Liz starts talking about marriage back. Allie proposes said marriage, and Liz rejects him. Her rationale behind this, and she actually says these words exactly, is, "I want to see the world." You took a non-cliched storyline and made it cliched. I applaud you. Allie's reaction to this is to promptly rejoin the military. Somehow no one points out to him that the reaction to your marriage proposal being rejected, particularly when your girlfriend is as apologetic as Liz was and willing to keep going, should not be to risk your life. Are you truly that needy? If this is the case, I wouldn't recommend you to anyone. And the thing is that if they had pointed out said problem with this whole thing, that would have been fine. But they never did. And then we have the last storyline between Davy and Yvonne, the most offensive of the 3. Davy and Yvonne get together for pretty much no reason after Liz introduces the 2 of them. After that, during the celebration of Dad and Mom's 25th anniversary, Allie proposes the marriage to Liz, at which point she rejects him, and a guy makes fun of him for it. He punches said guy in the face, and a fight breaks out. During this fight, Yvonne grabs Davy's hand, and Davy raises a fist to her. She gets angry. Justifiably. Davy confronts her in a room. A restaurant. And they sing a song and everything's fine. A song that has next to nothing to do with what's going on. Now I'd just like to take a pause here to point out that this film is a musical. With really bad special effects. I know, I'm a little shocked too. During that beginning scene where they're in the military vehicle, The background is clearly painted. Seriously, it looks like the sky is made of clay and paint. Then, in that scene that I just mentioned, there's supposed to be this grand dance number where they're silhouetted against a backdrop overlooking Edinburgh, and as anyone who's ever used image editing software would know, you take a low-resolution image and you stretch it, it's very obvious you did so. And that backdrop was green screened with a stretched background. What the hell? How do you actually fuck up that much? Just... And as a quick note, this film had a budget. A rather large one, in fact. After that, the relationship keeps going for pretty much no reason, until at one point, Yvonne confronts Davy with a question. If she were to move back to England, would he follow her? And he answers, like any reasonable person who's been in a relationship for a month would, saying, no. She promptly gets mad as hell, and he runs away, and he runs off, and then she starts to move back to England. And then, essentially, we have the ending of every romantic comedy ever. Davy gets home, his mom gives him an encouraging speech, and he runs off after her to the train station. Eventually, he confronts her. They talk it out. It turns out it was all a misunderstanding, and as it turns out, Davy actually is an irrational twit, and would go to England with her. Anyhow, after that, they play the only song that ever became famous anywhere other than Scotland. And, the film ends. I'd also like to quickly take this time to note that the dance number for the only song that ever became popular anywhere other than Scotland includes one segment where Davy picks up Yvonne and it turns to a bird's eye view shot of him spinning her around her with her arms in the air, exactly like the fucking Titanic pose. And like everything that happens in a musical dance number ever. This film seriously had the worst writing, the worst placement for the songs, the worst special effects, the worst acting aside from the woman that played the mom, who was actually half decent, and the egregious thing to actually have issues in a musical with sound mixing. I'm not kidding. During a song near the very beginning, I could not hear the words they were saying at all over top of the instruments. At the same time, a song happens later on that's evidently very instrumentally focused, because it's almost like a funk song of sorts. Kind of, you know, the grand trumpets and all that kind of stuff. And the vocals are way too loud, and I can barely hear the instruments. It boggles my mind. And then the worst thing about all of it, at the end of it all, the audience loved it. I know that I shouldn't be wishing for audiences to not like films that they would like. But at the same time, there's a part of me that really hopes that we can get past trash like this and kind of, you know, improve. Maybe notice flaws instead of liking things because we want to like them. Just a thought. Anyways, after that, I got something that I really did need in the next film.